Hello, and thanks for watching this short video focusing on how to resolve the inventory conversion when you convert your QuickBooks desktop file over to your QuickBooks Online subscription. If you do have items in the desktop product that are hitting three accounts, right? Your COGS, your revenue, and your inventory asset, they come over to the QuickBooks Online files. I'll show you as I click on the gear icon and go to Products and Services. This books for resale was an inventory part in QuickBooks Desktop, right? And it comes over as a two-sided item without any inventory. And inventory isn't even turned on in the company settings in the QBO file anyway yet. You still have to do that. So I'm going to show you how to kind of rectify the situation. And notice there's also two sub-items that are created. These aren't accounts. Even though they have the name of a chart of an account, they're just the items so that your reports are correct post-conversion. You're eventually going to delete these two sub-items and you just wind up with just the one inventory part. Again, this is one item that I'm going to show you how to resolve and rectify post-conversion and the work you're going to have to do. But if you have countless inventory parts, my suggestion is not to convert from the desktop file to your new QuickBooks Online subscription, but instead start the QBO file from scratch with an opening balance journal entry, enter in your open transactions, invoices, bills, any open checks, deposits that haven't cleared, do your reconciliation, and then import your lists from the gear icon import data. You can import chart of accounts, you can import your items, and things like that. And then just kind of draw a line in the sand. The only thing you'll miss out on is historical data. But the time it's going to take you to go through these steps for 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 inventory parts, I just don't think it's going to be worth it in most cases. But in the off chance that this is okay for you and you don't have a whole lot of items and you want to bring over all that historical data, here is what you do. So I've already showed you the item with the two sub-items. We'll get to that in a second. And I also want to show you a couple key accounts on the chart of accounts that have come over during the conversion from desktop. Number one, I have an inventory asset account. This inventory asset -1 account comes when you turn inventory on in the file. And so you'll notice that when I do link my two-sided items that should be inventory to three-sided items, I'm going to link it to this -1 account because the QuickBooks original inventory asset account that came over from QuickBooks there, you won't see that as an option. So you'll see what I mean when I'm in the item. But this inventory asset -1 is going to be the QBO inventory asset account. And I'm going to merge them at the end to the process, but I'm going to wait. And you are going to do a journal entry because your inventory asset is going to be doubled, okay, at the end of the day. So you're going to do a journal entry debiting opening balance equity, crediting this old inventory asset account, so it'll be 0, and this one will have the 651. But before you even do that, and by the way, if you don't even see this inventory asset -1 account, don't worry, you will when you turn inventory on. But if I go to the desktop file, some important things to do in desktop after conversion, go to reports, inventory, valuation summary, and just do it for all dates. Because this cost and this asset value, that's what you want to make sure you have in QBO. And I have it now. We saw it just on my chart of accounts. But this is the quantity on hand that I'm going to put on and the actual cost for the item. Now, in QBO, if I go back to my products and services list and edit the books for resale, the cost should come over. So the really only thing I need is the actual enter the 28 quantity. And I'm in QuickBooks Online Plus, but I don't see the checkbox that I want to track quantity on hand. Why do you suppose that is? Yeah, the setting isn't turned on yet. So you go to the gear icon, settings, company settings, and go down to sales, and you see that it's off here. So just click the little pencil icon on the right for products and services, track quantity on hand. This will not be available for essentials or simple start. It's going to be a plus thing, okay, QuickBooks Online Plus. Click save, and that will go ahead and turn on the inventory asset -1 if you don't already have it. So if we go back to our chart of accounts, this is what you should see. These two accounts. Okay, and we have the report. Now we're ready to kind of start the process of going through your items that you want to make inventory parts in QuickBooks Online, assigning them to the account, and then we'll do that journal entry to back out the extra 651 that I'm going to have, wind up having. So we'll go back to the gear icon. And most of the stuff you do here is all from pretty much the gear icon. And you're going to go to products and services. And you could right click duplicate, and have products and services list up on one and chart of accounts up on the other. It's really up to you. Multiple tabs work great with QBO, particularly in Chrome. So don't worry about these sub items. We're going to delete them later. I'm just going to leave them for now. I'm going to highlight the part I wanted to be an inventory part and click edit. Now I have this option, track quantity on hand for inventory items. I'm going to check off the box. And I'm going to put in 28 because that's what I have on my inventory valuation summary for all dates from QuickBooks. There's 28 on hand there, right? And the cost is $23.25. Now the as of date's important, and what you really need to do is go into QuickBooks and find out the last date that you did something with the item, whether purchased it or sold it. So with all dates, I usually drill down and I look and I see that 1/1/14 was the last invoice date. Even though I'm not going to do any transactions for this item before 1/1, the date I'm going to use in that field actually is going to be 1/2/2014 because QBO doesn't want you selling anything before that. You had 28 items as of, right? You're not going to be able to sell it the day before. So I'm going to do 1/2/14. And notice the asset account, there's only the inventory asset -1. There is no inventory asset account that would be the original one from QuickBooks that we saw in our chart of accounts, right? And that's because that was the QuickBooks inventory asset account. So I'll show you at the end how you're going to merge these two, because why have an account that has a -1, right? So I have my revenue account, I have the proper COGS account, and I'm going to go ahead and click. Okay, it brings you back to your products and services, and now I'm going to go ahead and delete the COGS sub-items under each of these. They don't delete the accounts. These are items. I'm on the products and services list. And now I just have the one books for resale inventory. It's got a quantity of 28. Here's the price, and the cost is $23.25. But if we look over on the chart of accounts now, go gear icon, chart of account, you'll notice I have doubled my inventory as I warned you about. And that's part of the design here. I tried doing this where I just merge the inventory asset and the inventory asset -1 first, then connect the items to the inventory asset account, but it's still going to double that account, right? So you have to do the journal entry to debit the opening balance equity and credit the inventory asset original account, which then you can either delete, which makes it inactive, or merge it into -1, right? It all depends on if you want the name. I don't want to duplicate account names, right? Even though when I delete an account in QBO, it really doesn't delete it. It makes it inactive, but that name is still there, and QBO is still going to see that I have two names of inventory asset, right? So I'll show you that in a second. Let's go, though, and take a look at this account just by clicking a report on it, choosing the report tab, accrual, and let's do all dates. So the reason why I'm showing you this is what we did to the item makes an inventory quantity adjustment, and the offsetting account is opening balance equity. So as you see back on our chart of accounts, the opening balance equity account is 651. So that's why you do the actual journal entry to get rid of it. So we'll go to the plus sign, show more, and we're going to do journal entry. And I'm actually going to do the journal entry on the 2nd of January, January 2nd. And again, we're going to credit the inventory asset account by 651 to reduce that. And this is the original QuickBooks account that came over from QuickBooks Desktop. The -1 is a QBO one. You want to keep that one. That one should say 651. I hope that's clear, you guys. And then you're going to scroll down to the opening balance equity account, and I'm going to debit it 651 and just go ahead and save and close. So back on the chart of accounts, OBE is 0, which you always want that anyway. In this case, it's good to have the OBE. The -1 651, and then the inventory asset account 1122 that came over from QuickBooks, that's 0. So now you can either delete the account and just leave inventory asset 1, but I think a more thorough thing to do would be to merge this account into inventory asset -1, right? And then take out the -1 from this name. So you just have one account, and there's not just two inventory asset accounts. So how to do that in QBO is you're going to highlight the account, click edit. Now notice the one that came over from QuickBooks is another current asset, but the detail type should be inventory, but it's not. The inventory asset -1 in QBO, the detail type is inventory. So in order to merge them, you have to change this to inventory, right? and I'm going to take the number out, and I'm going to call it inventory asset dash one. I'm going to go ahead and click save, and you're going to get a warning about the changing the type of detail type for an account. Just click yes. And then do you want to merge the two? Click yes. And we brought back to our inventory asset. You just have the one account now, and it's 651. It's the one that all the transactions and purchases and selling are going to hit this account from here on out. The QuickBooks desktop inventory asset account that was created from the conversion is now gone. And now I'm just going to edit this account and get rid of the dash one. And then I have inventory asset, and I have my cost of goods sold, and I have my items. And once that's done, you're good to go from there. So I hope that was helpful. A little instruction on inventories. If you are converting from the desktop, there's some work post-conversion. So you can do this really quickly, do all your items, and then do the journal entry at the end. But if you have thousands of items, best practice would just be to go ahead and start the QBO file without converting from desktop. You'll miss out on the historical data, but it'll be real clean, and you won't have to do to resolve the post-conversion inventory issues. You guys have a great day.